to Michael Tildesley. He is an associate professor at University of Warwick. Thank you so much for joining us on the program, sir. Now, there's a lot that we don't know about this specific strain of the virus, and people are worried. What can you tell us about this mutated version of COVID-19?
Well, it is very early days. We are in a situation where we are seeing a concerning rise in cases in the southeast of England in particular and in Greater London. What we do know is that it's more infectious, which means that when you get infected, you're more likely to pass the infection on to other people. It does not appear that people who get infected with this variant have more severe symptoms or are more likely to be hospitalised. But of course, it's very early days. But what this does mean, because it's more infectious, you may get the same number of people sadly being hospitalised, but that happens over a shorter period of time. So that's why we're really concerned that the health services then become under stress, particularly at this time of year when health services in the UK are already under a lot of pressure.
So what exactly do health experts and scientists look for when researching a strain of this virus to better understand how it would affect us?
So we're still looking at kind of the same indicators that we've been looking at throughout the pandemic. So you're looking at the rise in cases really locally. Are you seeing cases rising in a concerning way in a particular part of the country? How does that change through time? And if cases are growing more rapidly, then we really are concerned. But we're also looking at the number of people that go into hospital and the number of people that sadly die from the disease. And if there is a really concerning change in those, then again, that's where we get really worried, because that means that maybe we have a virus that is either spreading more rapidly or is causing more severe symptoms in individuals. So these are all things that we need to monitor over the next few weeks and take necessary action if needs be to bring incidence down.
And countries around the world, as we know, already started their vaccination process. Is there any chance that the vaccine would work in combating this strain, or does a new formula need to be made?
Well, this is something that we don't 100% know at the moment. We do know that the vaccines have been tested over a variety of strains that have been circulating prior to this, and there's been protection across multiple different strains. There is nothing yet to indicate that this vaccine will not be protective against this particular variant. I will say that viruses mutate all the time, and at some point we may get a variant that the vaccine does not protect against, and it may be that a new version has to be developed. But this sort of thing happens all the time with, for instance, influenza vaccines have to be developed every year to combat the new strains that are circulating. So I wouldn't be really worried about this yet, but it's certainly something we need to monitor.
So this does mean that even if we've already gotten vaccinated and immunized, we should still be taking the necessary precautions and wear our masks, for example.
Oh, absolutely. But that's the case anyway. Even before the emergence of this variant, that was still the case, that even if you yourself have been vaccinated, we need to remember the vaccination is not 100% protective. It has a very high efficacy, 90 to 95% for the Pfizer vaccine, but you still have a chance of catching the virus and passing it on. Where we really get to the stage that we can drop these sort of interventions is when we get a large proportion of the population having received the vaccine, 60 to 70%. So even if it's not effective in you yourself, the fact that everyone else has the vaccine means that it protects everybody.
All right, Professor Michael Tildesley, thank you so much for joining us on the program. It was a pleasure to have you.